Alrighty, it's Monday. Doesn't mean a damn thing, just like yesterday. I'm on repeat. That's where I'm at. I'm on repeat. I woke up with Jolene, and she woke up at 10 again. And what I've done is come up here to the garage, and I've looked at this piece down here I got going along the bottom. I like what's going on. I just did not finish it here. What I want to do is I want to cut this off so I can get this line here back tight on the fender. What I want to do is adjust it a little bit more. And then I want to cut some metal and I want to fill this in so I can see what it looks like. I am not going to keep it there because I want to go and get a new piece of square tubing to put in there instead of one that's welded up and rusty. My metal depot that I go to, my friend Lori's place on the mountain, is closed on Mondays, so I'm just going to hold off on that. But I am going to make the pieces, so when I get the square tubing, I can just cut it, put it in, that's my pattern, and go with it. That's something I want to have done. I still got to figure out how I know how I'm going to fix the fender, but I don't know what I'm going to do up the front here. Not yet, and I'll figure that out as I go. That's what I'll do. I'll figure it out as I go. But that's what I want to do today. I want to fill that in a little bit, make that fit a little better. Not going to leave it, just going to tack it in place, so take it back off, and we'll see what happens there. And also, I'm going to cut the hood on the grade. I think that grade there doesn't look bad for the chrome. It might be a little less, might be a little bit more, I don't know, but that's what I'm going for. I'm going to do a couple things just because I don't think this will take long. I just want to trim that top pad, this piece off. Like I said, trim that off, move it back a little bit so it's tight against the lip. Also, you can see on this one here how it's 45'd. I'll have to do the exact same thing on this one when I put the metal up in there to make it look like it's got that shape. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do anyways. So I'm going to get ready, put some knee pads on, and I'm going to get down and do it. Yeah, Monday's a hard go sometimes, but like I said, Monday doesn't seem any different than any other day, to be honest with you. Just have to click your brain in that gear and say I'm going for it. Jolene looks amazing today. Yes, she does. She looks amazing today. Got her safety glasses on, got her safety shoes on. She looks fantastic. Fantastic. What I'm going to do here is I've got this, I can see this line here. On the other side I've got, well, I can stick my finger in there. So I can stick my finger in there in between the lip and this piece that I want to put on. So what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do is I'm going to cut that much off of this, a finger's width off of this. I'm going to cut this off straight just to see if I can get it back looking better. Cut that off there. Then I'm going to vice grip it back on and see if it looks better. Then I'll cut some pieces, or I'll take some I think this is almost 8 feet long, a little shy than 8 feet. I'm going to cut some strips and put it in through the roller, and I just want to tack it on the square tube. I'm just going to tack it on there and put it up against the car and see what it looks like to give me a visual. Then I'm going to go right onto the hood, cut that off, and go for it. So I better get at her. Let's get at her. Let's get at her. And like I said, the reason I was doing this is trying to get the car to look lower than it really is. Well, I guess it's going to be that low, but what I'm doing is I'm adding on to the bottom. I've seen a lot of cars that use section. That means you take some out of it. This one I'm adding on. Just a different process. And there's every way you can do it any way you want to, and I guess that's the part of the freedom of the car. You know, get to do it any way you want to. Couldn't ask any more than that. Got that fitting on. See, that's what I want. I want that tight on that line. That's what I want. And I'm thinking I came back, what I said, a finger mark. When I put this fender back on, I'm going to have to deal with this lip. I see I've got a pinhole. I got a pinhole here, and I've got some mess up here. So I'm going to cut something out that I can put in there and put a new piece in there. But when I weld this on, this is going to be my new lip. So I'm not going to have any lip from a certain way down. Just going to have to figure that out, and I'll figure it out as I go, I guess. in there. I'm just going to get back and take a look. Down a little bit more. That's basically looking the same. All I'm doing is looking at this right here, this gap right here along the sill. If it looks the same, then I'm gonna go with it, you know, basically. And it's not tacked on right now. Now I've got this line looking right. And basically what I will do with this, I can bend a 90. I can shrink or stretch. What I mean by shrink or stretch is make a 90 and put the shrinker in the stretcher and use that to make this shape and weld that onto the fender. All it is a 90. Straight out and straight in to weld onto this to make it look like that. It's not that hard. This piece here will be cut off like here. I'm going to fix the fender, go around so this stays like this. I want this, if you ever look underneath of it, this is a sort of an add-on. This is all the way it should be. And then we'll have a piece of metal that's welded up here all the way along. There's a hole up in there that if anything comes up in there, it can fall back out. When it gets on top of that, that would be a different story. But it'd be a good place for seam sealer in behind it or whatever. Or most likely it probably won't be driven anywhere as it's getting a whole bunch of stuff up in there. But we'll see. Just an old car that no, I shouldn't say it's just an old car. It's an art project that I'm enjoy doing actually. So that don't look bad. I'm just going to take a measurement and see how far it is away. I'm going to roll a piece. And what I'm going to do is, this is what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to roll a piece. See, it'd be hard to get a roll in something that small, that close. So I'll roll a piece that is for both sides. So I can put it in the roller, get it through there a little bit, and so I can get a little bit of roll on it. Something like that small, like that's not a very big, what can I say, big piece of metal to get a shape into through a roller. But if I roll twice as much, I should be able to get the shape. And what I'll do is I'll cut it in half. That's where a lot of people would maybe use a wheel to roll it over. My wheel would roll that over quite nice if I threw a 4-inch piece or whatever we need in there. I'm going to say it's a 4-inch piece. 4-inch piece. And there's another thing too. As I was going along, I was asking Jolene, as I have this piece made, it's just a piece of aluminum. It's not what I'm going to use. But as I put that on there, you can see what I'm going for. This has got a 90 bent in it. I can make a piece of 4-inch and then bend a 90 in it, run it down straight on this square tubing, run it flat straight down on that, connect it on the bottom. Or I can just do a 4-inch piece with a roll on it and weld it to the top. Not sure what I want to do. Well, hello, Fina. How you doing? Huh? Good girl. Anyways, this is what I've got going on here. This is the piece that I have. It has a bend on it. It's not the right bend. It should go down more straight. But you can see there's 2 different ways to do it. There's 3, probably 4 different ways to do it. I'm just going to cut what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut an 8-inch piece out of the 4-inch or the 4-foot strip of metal here. Start rocking and rolling. I'll cut that. We'll put a roll in it, cut it in half, and see what we got. I think what I'm going to do, instead of putting the bend on it, I think I'm going to weld it right to the steel tubing. Yeah, I think that's the easiest thing to do. The square tubing will be used as the body line instead of laying metal over top of it again. If I lay metal down over top of it, I could see, what can I see happening? I can see, if I lay the bar down like this and weld the metal down face it, I can see metal coming, water or dirt getting on in between it. Then I can see more problem of it than just being welded along the top and seam sealed. I can see more problem lapping it and getting in there. I guess if you seam sealed it like you welded, half a dozen one or the other. I don't have to bend it if I do the 4-inch strip. That's less work, I guess. Less work. That's one way to look at it, I guess. And I'm always for the simplest, fastest way, or try to be. Sometimes I can go backwards. That's for sure. What I want is I want a straight edge, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a straight edge, start with, and then we'll cut our strips. Dun, 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 dun. Long pair of, suppose I have them there, do I? Right there. I'm not real happy with that line, but I'm not going to mark 2 lines to cut it. I'm going to play with that line. What the hey? What the hey? Leave it there. How it going this morning, huh? How it going? So the more ways you can have, that's not what, yeah, I suppose. That's not what I want to do. I want to cut this off. This up this end. That's what I want. That's what I want. So I'm hoping 1 8-inch strip will give me what I need. So I'm just going to get a straight line here, measure over 8 inches, give me an 8-inch strip. I'll put it through the roller, give a nice roll on it. We'll cut it in half, then I'll tack it on that square tubing, see what it looks like. Then we're on to cutting the hood. I just really want to do that visual this morning. I'm going to get to my new gear. Yes, I am. Just have to get set up for it first. And what I mean by set up for it is to get ready to start using it. And that's going to just take a little bit of planning and looking it over and looking at the instructions a little bit before I take off. I'm sure they would enjoy that I looked at the instructions before I took off, wouldn't they? They'd probably enjoy that a little bit. I need some air on. Me and Jolene have a lot going on in our little short amount of time during the time of the day, the light of the day. We have a lot going on. We got some rock outside we're putting down. We have the little shop beside us. We got that sort of being emptied out and looking good, so we can put a couple more project cars in there and can be worked on at any time. We have a lot going on. We have a couple storage containers we're going to move so we can store the cars. But it's all fun. Keeps our brain busy, doesn't it, baby? Keeps our brain busy. Get my gloves and my glasses. I like it. I think I like it. It brings it down lower. It makes the body look thicker. I like it. I think it's going to look nice. It was my plan a long time ago, just never ever got to it. I'm happy that where we're at right now allows me to do that. I'm really happy. I'm a lucky man, more ways than one, and I appreciate everything that I have and don't have. I appreciate everything. I'm a lucky man. Alrighty. That went well. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to mark an 8-inch. We want 4 on either side. I wonder if we just do. Yeah, we'll make it 4. And the reason I say that, when I cut it in half, just going to take an extra look here. I might do 4.5 or 8.5, so that gives us 4 1/4 on each side, or just to make sure. That 4-inch looks good. 4-inch looks fine. 4 inches lots, I think. 4 inches is what I'm going to go, so I'm just going to make an 8-inch piece. Just want to make double check. And sometimes, not sometimes, it's better to have a little bigger piece than you need. And the reason being is because you can always take some off, right? But I'm going to try to cut this one. So 2 pieces will, 1 piece will do it when I cut it in half. That's what I'm hoping for. No, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. It's a beautiful day here in Nova Scotia. A beautiful day. If you live in a beautiful place, you should love it. Shouldn't you, baby? You should love it. Wherever you live, you should love it if it treats you good. That's for sure. Wherever you live. Doesn't matter where you live. As long as you're getting treated good, make sure you show your respect to your place where you live. That's how I feel. And everybody should. We're only here for a while. Me and Jolene are barbecuing today, aren't we, baby? Later on today? If you can, make sure you make yourself happy today somehow, you know. That's how we're going to make ourselves happy. Have a little barbecue. Tell each other that we love each other. Not my baby, huh? I love you. What am I cutting? I didn't even look. Am I cutting anything? No, just the metal. I've got a little extra metal because I'm outside the line here a little bit. I put the ruler on the metal. And what I did is I cheated. That's how I'm getting my little extra bit. Leave a little bit there. Do, 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 do. Somewhat the same. It's not going to fall too far, I don't think. Might fall, but it won't fall too far. Just left the other end connected a little bit so I could get all that off. Come on. Alrighty, that went well. Ugh. Stronger than I need to be sometimes. Sometimes, I said, sometimes. When it goes to pushing cars around, you can never be too strong because sometimes they don't want to move. We're going to try to get beyond that someday, aren't we, sweetheart? Someday. What I have here is an 8-inch piece. I want to knock the corners down. I seen Aiden banging the metal down on the cement. I wonder where he got that from. Aiden will be back tomorrow. I'm sure he's working on his car or playing on it, whatever. working or playing, I call it the same thing, I guess. If you're having fun, it's the same thing. We're not slag off here. Reason I do lock the slag off like this, just because it's easier than grinding it off. If it'll be knocked off, it's easier than grinding it off. If you can hit it. Must have been a cold burn on that one. Alrighty. What I want to do is, I want to pull this roller out. Not going for the firewall, I'm waiting for Aiden for quite a bit of stuff actually. The firewall is hard to go in. We kind of sort of have to bend it to get it in. I'm waiting for Aiden on that, plus the piece that goes underneath. I want to take the motor back out of this. So tomorrow will be a big day because we'll be taking the motor back out, trying to get the firewall in place. There'll be a lot going on tomorrow. Found this, must have been left over. I think that's going to look nice. Pretty cool, eh? Found that the other day. Put this away. I don't know where I'm going to put it right now, but stick it on the back of the truck so it won't get hurt. I like using the roller. Probably a lot of people would wheel that, try to get that little piece and wheel it. Yes, they would. And there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I just find this easier, that's all. And what I'm going to do is, look at that now, would you? I'm going to have to cut that off a little bit. Where's my marker? That's okay, I guess. I'm just going to knock it off. We're going to roller win that far at least. We'll knock it off here. Ba, ba, ba. Should have my glasses at least. Just knock that off real quick. Thank you, baby. She told me, boys, put the ground on. Knock the slag off. Try a practice piece to see what it goes like, just so I know. Just all I want is a sort of an 8-inch piece, I guess, to see what kind of bend I'm going to get. And I learned that the last couple times that if I don't check, that's how you get mistakes. If you don't check, that's all I'm going to do is check how much roll it is. And you can tell if I cut that in half and had my 4-inch piece, I wouldn't get no roll at all. It'd be hard to do. So where I'm going to leave it at the 8-inch, I'm hoping that I get a little bit of a roll, that I can cut it in half. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think I want a little bit more. So all I'm going to do with this thing here, it has a screw on this side and has a screw on this side, and it just brings this roller up in the back, brings it up higher. And what I just do, I just go over and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's what I do. Just kind of do that. I should roll that thing there through again just to see what it is. Sorry about that. I always try to put it in straight to the roller and then roll it in. It's got a little bit of a roll, yes it does. And I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna take it over and look at it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it over and look at it. Yeah, that'd be fine. When I weld that on there, that'll be welded on there. That'll give us our body line for down there. I'll have to round that off, obviously. But when I cut that off, at the 4-inch mark. That'll go into the car, and we'll have a little round shape there. That makes it look concaved. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 again. What the hey? 1, 2, 3, 4. Going with that. I'm going to go with it. Just got a nice curve to it. Cut that in half. It's going to look good. Basically, the only way you would get that, if you had a 4-inch strip, the only way you would get that like that is probably the wheel. You wouldn't get in this if you cut it 4-inch, because there'd be no place to bend it or roll it. Where I've cut it 8, it's a little bit long. It'll roll it. Wonderful. Just going to do it the other way. And the reason being is, why not? Why not? Do it one more time. The reason being is, why not? Just to make sure I got it rolled, you know? Make sure I got it rolled. Alrighty. So now you can see I got a little bit of roll on that. Let's cut it in half. Cut that in half. I'm going to move this piece. We'll use this piece of metal. We'll cut another 8-inch strip for this side. Yes, we will. Where am I? Put them right there for a second. I'll forget where they're at. You watch. It's a little longer than 8. So I'm just measuring from where the edge to the edge where it's rolled, and then I'll just mark it in the center that way. If I can hold the tape measure. Now, let's get our roller stick back out again. Have to be careful on this one. Wherever I put the line, I have to make sure I'm on the right side of it when it comes time to cut her down straight through. That's, I guess, basic, but if you're not paying attention, you've seen on the last one where the line was, the plasma cutter. You watch this now. When I put that on there, I want to make sure that the center is going to hit the line, because I'm trying to get the center. I want the center of the plasma cutter to hit, so I have to put it on there. I'm going to try to make sure that this one's on the line. Get on this side. Just takes a second or two, that's all. But when it's done, I'll be happy. I can't set those down anywhere. Put these on. See right there somewhere. All I did is putting this on the straight line here and looking down here and seeing if I got the right distance away from the line. That's all I'm trying to do there. Now I'm just going to turn that bad boy on, put the ground on. Hopefully that I have everything done the right way. And we'll have 2 pieces made, and we can just slide it on for a visual, and then on to cutting the hood. Push it your way a little bit. Hit the line beautiful down that end, on that end it did. Hit the line beautifully it did. Switch ends. On this end. Beautiful day here in Nova Scotia, isn't it, baby? Beautiful. Beautiful. Just like you. Well, not quite. Not quite. Alrighty. That went well. Put that down there. Take that off. Now you can see I still got a curve, I still got a roll in that thing. You can see it. You can see it on whatever end you want to look at, I still got a roll on it. You would never get that if I cut that piece. I keep saying that. You would never get that. Geez, I didn't hardly leave any slag at all on that one. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now I'm going to take this piece. Got a marker right here. Just tacking it on for visual. That's what I'm doing. Tacking it on for the visual. 1, 2. There's a line back here that I want to mimic the 45 that I have on the fender. There's one right there. I'm going to cut that zip cut because right there. Don't know if it's right or not, but it'll give me a start. Beautiful. Awesome. It's not out a whole big distance. Awesome. See, that can be. There's gonna have to be a piece of square stock welded from maybe here into the sill, here into the sill to make sure everything's the same. But I'm just gonna tack it on at the bottom. Just tack it on. Not for it to stay forever, but just tack it on. I'm going to replace the square tubing on the bottom. That's what I'm going to do. So that's why I'm just tacking it on. I have a ground here somewhere. I know that bad boy's here somewhere. Hoping that gives it to me. Just anything at all on the ground will stop a welder from rolling. Anything at all. Got to do it, people, just for the visual. Got to do it. And also, I'm making them for when it comes time. There I have a pattern. What's that in there? That's how simple that was. just so I can take it off at any time. That's what I'm doing. Putting a couple on. You can see when I put the, that's what I want the, just kind of holding it on. Hope it stays on for the graces. I'll just push that on there lightly. Just so lightly. Just trying to get a visual. When this comes along here, this has got a little concave in it. When that's tight in there, that'll make it look a little bit more. When this is in tight, it'll give it a little bit more. I'll have to round this off, this round rod, or square rod, round it off there a little bit. So when I take my filler, I can come around and make it look like a nice body line all the way to the front. I'm going to grab another little piece. I'll hold this up for you in a second. I found a tank outside. Just want to make this for a second. Marker. Ever so lightly, knock them off. Nothing to it. I just want to see if they fit. I don't want to make them fat. One there's got a little, it's cool. A little bend to it. That's good. That's good. Alrighty, we'll set this up here. And set that behind there a little bit. I can set that behind that. Set up in there. And I got a mark right here. Exact same as the end. I want that. I don't want to go up from here up. I'll lose my concave. If I bring it in here, then I get all this. I get that shape. That's what I want. I want that shape. I gotta cut that. Let's see if it's the same. There we go. I'm a little more on the other side. You can tell, right? See that? Keep it the same cut as that one down there. That one looks pretty good. Just gonna put that one in behind that one. I can butt weld that one anytime. Yes, I can. I'm going to have that. Alrighty. Just going to this is not staying for the, I don't know how many times, but it's not staying and just making pieces. Visuals. Visuals. Alrighty, stay with us. I'm just going to turn this off and take a look at it, and then I'm going to pull the hood off and I'm going to cut some angles on the hood. Just kind of going over, just wanted to play with that first thing. Didn't take that long, did we, sweetheart? Good. We'll continue on with the hood. I want to step back and take a look at that just for a second. You can see when it comes to a 45 here, when I push that in, I'm going to have a nice shaped area there that makes it look whatever. I'm going to get back and take a look. When it's painted, like all this is going to become one shape. all the door, like obviously it's all going to become one shape, so it's really going to be less noticeable. I'm going to round these corners, I think, as I have these on here. I think I might just round these corners, and there's going to be nothing to that. I'm just going to make a little round, something rounded, a sheet metal or whatever, and I'll cut that off so it looks like it's round. So it goes back and rounds off. That will give us a lot lower look. It will give us a lot lower look. It'll give us a different look than most. Also, another thing it's going to give us a straight line. So if I want to run a pipe down the side, it's going to give us a straight line to run our pipe to. You can tell on these Mercs, or if you don't know, if you look down the side of them, they're very hard to run a pipe down the side, or somewhat hard to run a pipe down the side. They've got a round shape to them. This has got a round shape to it. And the sill is the exact same way. And somewhat, I'm going to take that away by doing that a little bit, just on the bottom. Not sure if it's closed in now. Also, the piece in the front has to come on. We have to build this piece down. We got this apron right here, splash apron. That's what I guess we're going to call it. That piece has got to come down and come down around with a bumper on the front. Alrighty, this is what I'm going to do now. I have a line right here that I think is okay. I'm going to go look at the other side. And basically what's going on, the line that is going down here is what I'm thinking. Once the chrome goes on, I want the chrome to end at the hood. So when I cut the hood off it this way, that means the chrome's going to end there. This part is going to go with the truck. We're going to have to make a piece here, the sheet metal that we cut off. We can do that. We can. But basically, I'm going to take the hood off and do that. And I'll show you how I'm going to do it and make it the same on both sides. I had, when I made the hood, I had square stock. I shaved it and I made it fit in there. It's not fitting exactly where it was before, but I know that it's exactly where it should be because I did them both the same on either side. So as I see that square stock in there, I'm going to take some square stock here, just knock it off. I'm going to angle this piece and set it basically where I think it's going to be. And then I'm going to angle this piece and think where it's going to be. I'm going to make two of them, and then I'm going to turn the hood over, weld these in, cut the excess off. So I'm going to do this first. My gloves, I leave them on the other side. Did so. Round the rosies we go. It's a beautiful day here in Nova Scotia. Isn't it, baby? Beautiful. Nice spot here going up on the mountain. You can see that they got it cleared off. They can see to the end of time. Beautiful. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this square stock on here. I'm thinking that's my angle I'm going to go with. What the hey? That's my angle. I'm going to cut that first. I'm going to say that's going to go on top of that square tubing. That's what I'm going to say. Then I'm going to cut this one off like it's going to go the bottom of this square tubing. On the top of that square tubing and on the bottom of that square tubing. Take it out to the end, lay it on there, and that's what we're going to have. So I'm going to make two of them. Two of them. Which is, just had to find the smallest piece is what I wanted. I wanted to find the smallest piece. Not interested in trying to peel the tape off right now. Not interested. I'm going to cut this one. Now, in order to get that the same length, I'm saying that I have to cut the line off. Pretty good to me. I'm going to go with it. So what's happening is I've got two pieces of square stock exactly the same, or I'm saying close enough. I'm going to take the hood off, and I'm going to knock off some pieces and weld on the new angle. And then I will have a lot more work to do to put the angle back on the truck. There will be a time when it's done being welded. There will be a time, believe me. I'm just kind of wondering when it's going to be myself, you know. But one thing you must say as you watch, you know, us build this truck, there's not a whole bunch of money being spent. It's time right now. There's not a whole bunch of money being spent. Like the welder, yes, we are spending welder. You know, we had to buy wire and gas and the metal. But let's face it. We're not spending a bunch of money right now. Not at all. And to me, that makes it fun. That makes it better to me. It really does. When the money's lower and it's more reasonable, the better it is. I'm going to cut this piece out. Going to have to because I want to run a piece from this edge. I got them both the same, and we'll see what happens. Grab the grinder. I got to cut a piece out of that. Take my time cutting that out so I don't ruin anything. Not ruin. I mean, you're basically pretty hard to ruin something, but take my time and try to do a good job cutting them pieces out because they're welded all the way through. It just takes being accurate on what you're doing, I guess. I'm going to cut that out top and bottom. It shouldn't go anywhere because I got this welded here. And that's welded all the way around. Should be fine. Should be fine. Trying to clean it up a bit. That doesn't have to be cleaned off. It's this one. This is a piece I have to clean off. That one's coming off. I'm going to have to, but the way I'm looking at things right now, I'm going to have to, I'll put that piece in there. And when I cut that off, this is going to be gone, so I'm going to have to put a new piece in there before I do that. That's what I'm thinking in my brain. I'm going to get the flapper wheel, just knock off any edges there. Jolene does a mighty fine job doing the filming, does she not? I said, baby, you're a little close. She said, Dad, I got to get the shot. She said, I got to get the shot. Huh? Get the shot. Just want to let you know, all the comments are appreciated. All the nice comments appreciate it. And all the other comments we take notice, but it doesn't affect. Nowadays, I think that more and more people should try to not get offended. That's what people should try to do, because everybody's got an opinion, and everybody's allowed to have an opinion. But you really have to. What you have to do is click that gear in your brain that you're not going to be offended by anything or anybody. And if you can do that, it's a great feeling. I've sort of got it a little bit. I can do anything I want when it comes to building cars, because I do not get offended by other people's thoughts and what they think or what they do. I do not get offended by that. And the reason being is, this is my freedom right here. I do not allow things to dictate or make me do something I don't want to do. This is my freedom, and it should be yours too if you have a project. Do not allow anybody to affect your progress if you can. It's a hard thing, I know, when someone says something, oh, this or that, but you really have to push that gear in your brain that it's your project, you do it the way you want to and be happy. And you're not building it for them anyways. And if you was, it would have been their way, right? It's your way. That's how I feel. I got that looking pretty good. I'm right on the end there. I'm going to go there. I had both the same. I know when I made the hood, it was good. So Jolene's going to get the shot. We know that for sure. I'm saying that's where she be. Doing the exact same thing on this one. And I'm saying that it'll be the same when I'm done. I'll have to make sure that I weld that . I'll have to weld that again because it's kind of, I didn't leave any gap in that. I should weld that again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come here on the back side. See this thing for a second. one thing I'm going to do right now. Turn that wire up a little bit. I'm just going to go in here and tack this along here. Just so it can't take off when I cut it off. And that's basically what I'm doing it for. So it can't come off when I take it off. I want to look and see how I got that gap. 1, 2, 3. It's all right. Alrighty. Now what I'm going to do is run a little weld up inside there. Alrighty. I'm going to take this rod off. Nope. Not going to take that rod off. I take that rod off, it can take off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another one and weld it from this point to this point, and then I know I have it in the straight. Or hope it's straight anyways. This is what I'm going to do. Take this over there. Now, look, you can see the metal, like the metal that's here on that. That just clings to everything around here. There's so much grinding going on. Yeah, it's nice. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to take a little angle off this. Just putting a new one in, so when we cut it off, it doesn't take off. That might fall. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the front of that one and to the front of this one. And there's my mark. So I should be able to weld this right in and then cut that all off. Basically that's what you do, like you should do it anyways. If I tried to make the hood with that 45 in it before, it's easier to cut it off and brace it and then do what you got to do and then cut it off. Like if I was going to make the grill that Joe showed the first one, I still got to basically make the hood, make the front end, make it all, and then cut it out. Then you can cut it out and do it. But to try to make the grill opening and the hood area and all that sort of stuff at the same time, it's harder that way. I find it's easier just to make the shell and then cut that piece out that you need, that you want, or you desire. Going to cut a little bit off this end, so it'll be a little bit shy. But we'll have penetration. Will we not? We'll have penetration. I'm going to knock it on one side. You stay with us and I'll cut it right off and you'll see what the hood looks like. I'll put it back on and we'll see what we got to make to fix it. And then we'll give away a hat or a shirt because we appreciate. I guess you say that? We appreciate. Don't we, baby? We appreciate. Did he say weld it? Yeah, I welded it all right. Watch yourself, sweetheart. You okay? Lots of sharp metal around here, eh? Just want to see if it's in place before I weld it. It looks good. It's all right. And then these can be cut off. If there's something wrong, they can be cut off at any time. Not right, sweetheart? Alrighty. It is not finished. No, it's not. We're going to come down here and weld this along here. We're going to come down there and weld that along there. Yes, we are. We'll see what's going on. But I'm going to cut it off and put it back on. You'll see what we're going to have to add to the truck. Alrighty. Do. Alrighty, back to the zip cut. That's a really good sign when you cut something off. It does not jam up on your wheel. That's a good sign because that's telling you that something is not moving. We could save this piece. We could save this piece. We might. These are the triangles that fit in there. We could save those pieces. I'm going to take them off right now just to show what we're going to have to emulate them. Could be the pieces that we're going to use. Yes, they very well could be. Going to put the hood back on so you can see what's going on. That's all right, sweetheart, I got it. Is the welding ever going to end? All right, that's on there pretty good. That's welded on there good. I hold on to that. The hood still have to be ground off in the middle. Yes, it does. Watch me grunt. Alrighty. Somewhat. It's not staying. Here, we're still back there. That's what the hood's going to look like. Not sure. Okay, I see what's going on now. The square piece. If you want to see for a second. The square piece, a square stock that I run up here is hitting this. The square stock that I run along here did not, because it runs with this line. Where the square stock is coming up here, it's hitting on the edge of that right there. I'm going to have to relief that when I take it off, when we make it fit right. To get it back all the way, yes I am. I'm going to have to relief that. This piece in here, we'll have to cut that so that goes in there. That's fine. And that's how the hood's going to be shaped to accept the chrome. This is going to come down here now. You're going to be square stock. That's going to come down here now and face that square stock. And we'll probably square stock it down here and weld a triangle in here, square stock, and then we'll put a panel there. But when the hood comes up, the chrome will come up with the hood, and that's where the chrome's going to fit, right along here. This is going to be part of the truck. All right, let's give away a hat or a shirt. Got some visuals going on for me today. It's Monday. Hey, it's Monday. Not bad. There's a lot more welding going on down there. I might try to get that 4-inch piece, or I might have to cut it off a little bit more. I'd like it to, instead of welding on the face of the sheet metal again and taking that risk of warping that when it's perfect, I might take it down a little bit more so it's right underneath the weld, and it'd be harder to warp it and go up through that welded seam. So we might pull that back a little bit. I think that's going to look fantastic when you fill that out. When the truck gets filled, it comes down smooth, and you got a nice little rollout, a little body line all the way along. I think that's really going to look good. I took the sill look out of it. Awesome. Let's give away a hat or a shirt. Oh yeah, Jolene wants me to show you. We have a tank here. Greg Henderson, a friend of mine, give me the idea of putting a tank in the side of it and then making the step on side of the tank like big rigs do. This is a tank that I had out there. The picture that Joe Putt has drawn doesn't show that out there. Let's face it, he's not a mind reader. He's just drawing what's in his brain, that he sees what we're making. But as we have this tank, I was thinking about, it can be Frenched in the side of the truck. Yes, it can. I have to make a piece of metal fit this, and build ends on it, and then I sink it inside the truck, or French it in there, and I put the tank inside the body, weld a step on the side of this. I think as I get going, and it would be a tank for fuel too, we'd have one on either side. Not sure if we'd use these ones, but let's face it, there's a chance for a tank to win the side of it. To be Frenched in, I would never just hang it off the side, I don't think. But as I'm looking at this, I think the step is going to have to be back here. Pull handle here. There'll be a step here so you can step up and then step onto that while the door's open. And then you'll have to relieve yourself in. I really think it's going to be somewhat hard to get into, somewhat. But in all cases, I mean, if it can be lowered to the ground, you could sit your arse on there and swing yourself in if you wanted to, and you had to. But we'll build some kind of step in there, that's for sure. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. The computer's down here. Let's give away a hat or a shirt. And I keep saying it, if someone offends you, you really have to just take it as their opinion. It's not the end of the world. We all have to, not let that affect us. And I guess the way I try to do it is I try to take my brain and think about the stuff I want to think about, stuff for myself and Jolene. Once you start thinking about other things and other people, I really feel that it's wasted time that you could be thinking about yourself. And the more you think about yourself, the more, things you have, projects or doing or whatever, you cannot take that time and waste it. And when bad things come your way, you have to teach your brain to think, well, if I start thinking about all the bad stuff, well, then you're wasting the good stuff. You're wasting the time you could be thinking about yourself and what you want and whatever. Repeat, repeat, repeat. All right, I'm going to start it. Jolene says, be quiet. Start that thing. That's not true, is it, Jolene? No. That's not true. Biker Dawn. That lowering valance is going to look great. Well, thanks, Biker Dawn. I think you'll like today's video. Thank you very much. I appreciate your comment. It's not something that, I'm just trying to make something different that no one else has done that I've seen on a Merc. And it's not looking bad. I appreciate your good comment. You deserve a hat or a shirt of your choice. And I guess my thing for today is take your time and spend it on yourself. Do not waste your time on someone else's opinion. It does not matter. It does not matter. Have a good day, everybody. I love you, Jolene.